Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the first live episode of How to Copy and Steal. I am building the plane while we're flying it right now. Super nervous, but I'm just going to roll with the nerves. Today is a very exciting episode. I have two performers who I've gotten to see him perform live. I actually met one of them when I produced a podcast for a past client of mine. I am here with Kelsey Ray and Gene Flo from the Invisible Panchos.
Hey, what's up?
Clap
What's
it
up?
up. Clap it up.
We can clap it up.
Clapping it up for you, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Are you really nervous?
I am.
Are you?
I am.
Don't be nervous,
I
man.
am. It just,
Let's
that's
just all be nervous
always-
together.
One big breath.
Ready?
I'm with it.
That worked.
Yeah,
That worked
that's
a
all
little
you
bit.
need. Just
All right, we're here for you.
Thank
go.
you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We're the co-captains of the plane.
Yeah.
you know.
Thank you.
Whether it's going down or not.
I was watching this. Priscilla and I were watching this series on I think it's an Apple series, but we watched it online called Hijack. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it with Idris Elba. Pretty damn good series, bro.
Yeah,
It's
he's
one of those
fire.
like, what would you do in those situation type movies? Just anxiety ridden, just like.
I mean, I'm assuming it was a hijacked plane.
Yes, yeah, it's a hijacked plane, but like Idris, his profession is like he's a negotiator for like high stakes business like things. So he's just using his techniques.
His mental prowess.
Yeah, like some of the decisions that he makes on that are just like shit. Like you might think he's hijacking the plane too.
Yeah, now I need to watch it.
I'm just
Shout
gonna
out
add it to
Idris
my.
Alba because he's a dope DJ too.
I'm just gonna add that to
Oh,
the
is he?
list.
I had no
He's like
fucking
a
clue.
professional touring DJ.
Dope shit.
Yeah.
Wow, man of
He
many
kills it.
talents.
Absolutely.
Before I even get too far, I have to do my whole spiel.
Yep.
This episode is sponsored by a live studio. If you are interested in starting a live show like this of your own, please learn more at bookalivestudio.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Also, we just recently put together an equipment list for everything that we have here, along with like a guide to like, different budgets and things like that. So it's a free equipment list. It is linked down below. There's a QR code and also the URL down there. Go ahead, download it. Ask questions if you guys have questions. Our goal is eventually to start teaching people how to do all of this. Without further ado, let's get into the show. Let's start this conversation. Usually how I like to start the conversation is the name of the show is How to Copy and Steal. I have something that it's definitely something that I believe it's what we, it's what drives us when it comes to our creative process. But I just want to ask you both, like, when you hear those words, do they mean anything to you?
Yeah, because we've talked about that like exact thing on our own, like in our personal lives about like the way an artist goes through the motions of like evolving as an artist and copying at first and stealing and good artists always kind of steal, but is that what it refers to? Is that where you guys get it?
Yeah. That's exactly, I get it from Pablo Picasso's quote, good artists copy, great artists steal. But there are so many different, I believe, like iterations of that quote that have come before it. Like we stand on the shoulders of giants and things like that.
Right.
So I think they all generally mean the same thing. But dope.
Or the great 19th century poet P. Diddy.
Take that.
How do you guys, do you guys see yourself embodying that in the way that you create music? Like, what are your biggest inspirations when it comes to music?
Just going back on like what he was touching on, the copying the stages. In the beginning you have the emulation, right, or imitation, excuse me, where you're just trying to like go. So I would say at that stage for me, it was the likes of DJ Premier,
Okay.
Dr. Dre,
Okay.
Pharrell's, and now my inspiration is the people around me more so.
That's
what I mean? My environments and the work that I'm putting into myself, the discipline and the work, is inspiring. Not so much musical interests, you know what I mean? Or inspirations.
Is it almost like because like listening to your music, you guys definitely have like a sound, a feel, a vibe. And now it's almost coming to the point of like, how do you tell your life stories with that vibe, with this sound that you guys have accomplished, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, my brother inspires me so much. Just the journey that we've been on from beginning to sitting here right now, the growth that we've had with each other, getting to know each other really reflects into the music. You can see it in the live performance, the synchronicity. That just seeing that come to fruition is the most current inspiration right now.
Dope. No, that is magic. Honestly, like from the outside looking in, I can tell that you guys have like a strong community around you. And I believe it's Platform Collection, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's truly beautiful how you guys, you know what I mean, like a rising tide like raises all the ships. You get me, and you guys seem to have a big community around you that I can tell influences everything that you guys are doing. Every time I see BTS of you guys making a video, I'm like, oh, that's that person from this thing. That's that person from this thing. And it's just like all these faces that you kind of get to know. So I love that. Like I think that's truly beautiful. A little bit of like, how did you guys meet? How did you get started? Like, was someone like in the music industry before another and you kind of like got someone in, or what's the deal there?
I mean, I think personally we have like kind of lifelong stories that revolve around music. You know, Gene was up in the Bay for a while, so it wasn't like we were in the same city. Even like we didn't know each other for, you know, the majority of our musical process. Like we met like now, like really within the last few years. But we met at an event called Hip Hop Wins in San Diego, and Gene was just a producer there, and I was one of the staff working the event, and it was weekly, so he would show up, play beats, fill in for DJs. He was just like always somebody who was like putting his hand up to help, you know. And then I started making more music, and I needed some production. He sent me some beats, and right from the start when I heard his music, I knew we at least spoke the same language, because a lot of the stuff that he pulls from, I could tell were things that I pull from. So
yeah,
but that's kind of where we met. And then since then, it's like he said, it's just been evolving ever since, you know, like friendship wise. I mean, we're business partners, you know, like
We really started working together as strangers.
Yeah, for real.
We connected.
We just kind of decided to do it.
Yeah, he said we spoke the same language. You know, it basically, I held up a sign, he held up the same sign. Cool, let's do that. And through it's growing how to see how he works and see how he is as a person simultaneously is kind of like a double win, right? You get to work with somebody that not everybody, like he said, we've worked a lot of years before meeting each other.
Can I ask, what did you guys do before, you know, like, is this what you guys do full time now? And like, was there a world where you weren't in music, you know, before that, or where have you guys always been in music?
Oh, well, I'm a little older than Gene, and so I've definitely been in it for quite a while. Like I don't remember really ever doing anything else like interest wise. I played sports in high school, but I was always, you know, just basically good enough to make the team. But other than that, I didn't have like an interest in anything but music. I'm a second generation artist. My uncle had a band in Barrio Logan called the Velvetones, which was like back in the 50s. They put out a few records. They were like the popular band at the time. I think they were even like in a little movie. So it's kind of always been in my family for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And this is what I do. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That's I love when like you hear stories of like people that are like taking a baton further from like, you know, something where their family's always been, and just like seeing that growth and just being exposed to that. Like, I feel like, you know, people always talk about generational wealth. I feel like that's one of those like low key. That's a generational wealth thing where you get to see someone
I got
do
to
it.
be an artist because I saw my uncle being an artist, so I understood what being an artist was, and that's how I got to become an artist.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like proximity is a big deal. You know, I think you learn that even more and more as you grow older. Like, oh, that's why I didn't learn that, because I never had that around me.
Yeah.
Whereas like, somebody who grew up with maybe nobody being creative around them, they have to find that on their own path. So I got lucky. I at least saw what it looked like to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
How
about you, Gene?
Yes, I grew up actually deep in sports. I was definitely going towards like the athletic trail.
Yeah.
But as far as like music goes and family, there wasn't really around. There was some core memories with certain songs during like, okay, the song came on Sunday morning. Okay, it's time to get up and clean the house kind of thing. You know what I mean? But then I would be driving around with my dad, and he would always like hand drum on the steering wheel to the music. So that was almost like, I guess, my interest to the connection of like, he's feeling good, he's getting moved to this music. And I always it was always like a smooth jazz or like a cumbia and like something with like some rhythm to it. But I was the first musician, but I wanted to learn how to play guitar when I was a kid. As I was doing the athletic thing, the music was always kind of like, come here, So I eventually got a keyboard because of a friend who I saw play the keyboard, and I just liked the sounds that was coming out of it, and slowly shifted my like path from athlete to musician. And yeah, I mean, I have a 9-to-5 right now trying to pay the bills, but it's my angel investor to the art. Yeah. Which is transitioning into a full-time thing. So it's a beautiful thing, and seeing the progress going towards this transition is fuel to the fire to just don't stop.
I think that's a dope way to say it. You're angel investor to your art. Like,
I feel like, that meme of the pick of the guys stacked on top of each other, and they're in the tunnel picking at the diamond, and one guy's like, oh, I'm gonna go, and his next swing is the diamond. Yeah. Where this other guy's like, I'm gonna stick to it. Yeah. Well, that's always living in my head, Yeah. I'm that guy who's still going, because it's right. It's a couple more swings away,
Can I ask, is what you guys do or what you do for a living, is it anywhere related to music? Like, is there anything that you take from it that like drives into music, or is it completely separate?
Completely separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get you. Mm-hmm. I get you. What about you, Kil?
So other than music, I always have stayed like within the creative realm. So I also work with one of the companies that we manage called Meridian Arts. Okay. It's owned by Parker Edison, and he has a podcast called the Parker Edison Project. I've been producing that podcast for the last 3 seasons. We sold that podcast to KPBS, and then since then we've sold another one recently called Sex with Lolly, which is like just a sex talk show that they picked up, and now we're in the process of pitching them a couple other shows. So we've been in the podcast world for a long time. In our scene specifically, we were like one of the first people to actually start podcasting years ago. Yeah. You can still catch it. It's called the Crappy Awesome Podcast. It's on Spotify.
Crappy Awesome Podcast.
But that's a big part of what we do now, is manage podcasts and pitch podcasts, write podcasts. We're working on a real dope project that I can't talk too much about, but it's going to be launching at the beginning of the year, and it's really encompassing like everything like San Diego hip hop has had to offer throughout the years. So we're doing it's the first time where I'm getting to do like some more like investigative journalism. Yeah, where I get to like hunt down the story type thing. So that's really cool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So that takes up about 50% of my time doing that, and then when we're not touring or making music, I rely on those things to stay creative.
Yeah. Oh, I love seeing how things like funnel in from like your outside life.
Yeah.
That, whether it's like, that, or it's like you said, it's just angel investing your talents. So I wanted to ask you guys a little bit more about like, what does Invisible Panchos mean? I remember like I went to one of your performances and I got the pamphlet, and the gist I got of it was like being yourself. Mm-hmm. But I really want to understand from both of your words, like, what does the Invisible Panchos mean to you, and what does it stand for?
So I feel like that's a question that we've gotten like a lot lately, and it's been cool to see like our supporters' interpretations of it. Like I got a really cool one. I did a radio interview for a radio station up in Northern California the other day, and the host, shout out to M7, he was saying he thought it really resonated with him as a Latino American who grew up and heard, like, you know, if you're Latino and you grew up in even just California, you knew a Pancho. Everybody knows Pancho, right? But a lot of the times the people who are represented in that case are seen as invisible. They are. And so that's what he took from that. And that wasn't something I necessarily was leading with. I had always been open to the thought that people could see it like that. And now I'm super open to that because I love the fact that our audience is defining it for themselves. Yeah. But from us, like where it came from, like from our hearts, it is about being yourself. And we're hoping to create something that people can use to be themselves. We're hoping to be their invisible ponchos to block them from whatever is stopping them from being themselves. You know,
that's dope.
Yeah, it's kind of looking at it as a silent comfort, knowing that, like, okay, you have this, you're wearing your comfortability at any moment that you might feel that you're ready to take it off and really go be yourself. You know what I mean? And you should always be yourself, meaning to say it's a harness to allow you to have this space to open up if you're not feeling that way. You know what I mean? We want to have everybody feel comfortable in our community. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you
could just use us to block the rain.
Yeah, absolutely. And we definitely see this as like a service to the people. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we want to serve people, and the Invisible Panchos let us be that comfort for you, you know? And then it's kind of like a sign of like, okay, when you're ready, it's like the cocoon, right? Mm-hmm. And when you're ready, you can take off the poncho and bloom and be yourself, you know?
That's awesome. I got the opportunity to see you guys perform, and I've noticed like a similarity between like when you performed at Soloka's event, Community Over Competition.
Yeah. Shout out Soloka.
Yeah, shout out Claudia and Manny. You guys are true inspirations. Absolutely. You guys are doing it. So I noticed you guys. One thing I love about the way that you guys perform live is you're very theatrical. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys mean to do it, but like I love the attention to little details where it's like you have an RGB panel and, you know, it's not about just like using it to light you up. It's using the colors to signify the meaning of a different song. Mm-hmm. I love the, like, you know, when you move from one take to another, you see people moving things into set. You get me? And like you'll park on the corner, like on your knees, like you'll be somewhere else, and like it's giving people something to look at, and it's entertaining. And then on top of that, like you're vibing with it, you're moving with it. So I'd love to just like pick your brains about like, how do you guys think about live performances? What goes into it?
I think that from the start, Gene and I like had a conversation very early on that no matter what we were going to do, we were both fans of live performances, but one thing that we both kind of connected on is we weren't necessarily, not that we didn't listen to this kind of music, but going to see like someone just stand there and rap was never something that was like that exciting for me, especially as someone who raps. So it was very personal to us, just that we wanted to see something entertaining, and whatever we created, we wanted the audience to be entertained by that. But I've heard recently, like I've heard people describe it in a bunch of different ways. Like I've heard people say, like we do extra stuff. Like I've heard them say it like extra, or like they'll say
more than usual.
Yeah, more than usual, right? And like that has always been weird to me because like that almost assumes as that isn't part of the art that we're doing. And what you're actually seeing is one, the two of us, and usually Parker Edison, who's usually that third person on stage with us. And people don't really know this, but our manager, Hip Hop Eddie, is changing. He's playing the lights.
I've seen him.
So he's not just like changing lights. Like you said, it's very synchronized to the feeling of us, which means he has to have seen us perform hundreds of times for him to do that in a jazz-like way during the show. So you're watching jazz, and it might look dramatic, but what you're really seeing is these four people, like, mostly on a roller coaster trying to keep it together. Like, that's what you're really seeing. Like, I'm trying to see, for me personally, when I'm on stage, I'm trying to see how far I can push myself past the fear of whatever it is. People staring at me. I cried at the last at the last Soloka event at the Wonder Museum, because it was just because that's what that's what I felt. I was like, yo, this is beautiful. Like, we're here. Like, we made it to the Wonder Museum, you know, and it touched me. But that wasn't like, oh, okay, we need to cry at this point and do that. Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to do that, dude. Honestly, like, I'm not that type of artist. That's dope when people can do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I would be good at that. So what you're watching is us just gripping, like, and then whatever's coming out is what's coming out in real time. And then Gene is always acting like the captain when we're on stage, because he can trigger music at times, and we've gotten to know each other. So he'll know, like, oh, this is a good time to do this song, or, you know what, maybe we need to skip this song and go past this song. So that's all happening in real time, you know? So you're just seeing four components working their own shit out.
And I think the comments about you're doing more, or it's a predetermined thing. Like, oh, we're going to go watch a hip hop group. They're going to stand there and rap. So when no one's seen a musical rap theater, you know, so when they see, like you said, it's theatrical, the lights, Parker Edison narrating. Yeah. He's sitting there on the stage, you know, in between the songs throughout the whole show. The lights, they evoke emotion, you know. The music is a frequency. The frequency evokes an emotion, right? The lights also aid in that emotion. So you're getting these multi-senses activated, you know what I mean? Triggered. And at times people say, like, you don't know how to react. You don't know. You just are taken back.
Yeah, we've seen people cry. We've seen people, like, look like confused. We've seen,
like, what's about.
But those
to
are
happen.
all the right things.
Yeah. And we talk about it like we're gonna, you know, from my athletic background, we're like playbooking it. You know, okay, we're gonna do that. How can we next game, next show?
How do we let go a little bit more?
Yeah.
Like,
let's throw that deep.
How do we hang from the cliff a little bit farther? You know, that's all we're ever thinking about.
What's on your, like, bucket list of, like, things you want to do, like, during a live performance?
I want to play. We were just talking about this. We want to play together, because I can play certain things too. I'm a producer as well. We've been trying to figure out a way. I've always loved going to see like my favorite band or my favorite artist, or especially like when I would see it in hip hop, when, like, the MC would just allow the music to breathe. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't have to say anything. And then you could just jam for a minute, because I want to see what that does to y'all that are watching it. I want to see that. And then, to me, that's the art. Like, whatever you are doing, whatever we were able to make for you guys to react to, then that's the actual art. Otherwise, you are just watching two people make songs. Like, that was never what I was that into.
Would you guys ever, like, have you guys ever just, like, there's probably a term for it, and I'm probably butchering it, but, like, when people, like, loop music live on stage?
Yeah, we've done it. We've played with that. There's parts in the show where Gene will actually trigger drums, and he's playing them. People, a lot of times, which we've talked about this as well, is I really want Gene to perform sideways. Because I think you guys really need to see, because I'm saying, like, usually he's squared up to the audience, right? Okay. I think he should turn this way, because I think you guys are missing a lot of times the amount of stuff that he's doing back there.
Yeah.
He's doing so many things. He's triggering music. He's playing drums. He'll play piano while he's getting my backups. And so I think sometimes people will just see him as like, oh, he's just DJing back there. But that's not what's happening. Like, that music is getting made as we're doing it a lot of times. That's why every show you can come to is it's going to be a little different.
Yeah.
We can't do the same show again. You know?
That's dope. Like, as you guys were talking and like thinking out of the box, like I was in my head imagining like a BYO like but like bring your own instrument type of thing, and
That'd be
like,
awesome.
allowing
And
the
have people
crowd
play with us.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
That'd be sick.
Super dope.
I mean, we're really big on our universal word for our whole team is community, and for me, that's when there's a certain part of the show where he'll gather the crowd in.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're not just coming to see us, and we're not just performing to you. You know, it's an exchange of energy. We're all coming together, and there's a point in this show where when that happens, that's when I know, like, okay, this is what it's about. We want to have everyone in. This is our show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is your show. This is our show. We're here. Let it out.
Yeah.
Jump around, smile, have a good time.
The one thing I've noticed is like you guys are from the performances that I've seen. Like I don't think I've ever seen you guys on a stage. Like every time I've seen you guys perform, you guys are with the people. It's amongst the people.
I prefer it. I prefer if I can get them all the way around me. I'll usually every show we've done, I usually will try to move the audience from one place to another, because if I usually know that if we can do that, we're like in a sweet spot. That means we're all in the vibe. We're all willing to participate. And that's my first indicator that, oh, we can take this to a whole nother level right now, because they're willing to do whatever we want to do. Like, let's have an experience together. But I have to say this, like, I saw the first artist I ever saw do that was this artist named Chesky Ramos, who became a friend of mine. And I remember him and an artist named Tumex. As I was coming up, I would watch them and I would watch them perform, and they just seemed to be like, they just didn't give a shit on stage. They were there, and you were going to see them in all of, whether they felt horrible that day, good that day, you were going to feel it. And I would see people like cry at their shows, right? At Chesky's show, I saw people getting married. Like, people were so in love with the music, they wanted to get married at this particular point in his show. And that's, to me, that's at the bar, right? Up until I saw that, I was more about, I need to say dope shit so that people think I'm dope.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, no, I need to make people feel things. And it doesn't matter how I get to that point. That's the most important thing. And then everything shifted to that. And so when I do that at our shows, it's always like a little ode to like my OG, like the people that I watched. Not even like really my OG, they were like peers, but they were graceful enough to allow me to learn from them and like really like get into their brains. Doing this, by the way, mostly because I would interview them in podcasts, and that's how I met them.
Yeah.
And then that kind of like sprungboard me, into my own creative process. But that's me copying my favorite artists, because my favorite artists can move a crowd for real.
Yeah.
No,
that is so dope. Like, I would love to work with you guys. You get me in regards to like producing something like that live.
Oh man,
I have a buddy who he lives over in Ocean Beach, and he has like this dope pad that stumbled upon him by the beach, and he's been getting into like projection, like laser mapping.
Oh wow.
So like projecting
awesome.
onto the wall and like highlighting things onto the wall and things like that.
That's amazing.
I would love to see like how we could all put our heads together and do like a lot.
Absolutely.
We're aiming to do like a tiny desk concert in his home.
Oh, let's do
have
that.
like a small little private audience. It's on the beach, so you can see all of Ocean Beach. But I think that'd be like super dope just to like see
I
what
mean,
we could do. And
I
then
would just
also,
love to just like to work with like your creative energy as well. I think it would be, I can speak for our team. Like, I think our team works really well with other creatives, because everybody on our team comes from a place, I think somewhere in them, we joke about this a lot, about going through a time of not being understood.
Yeah.
So we try to like really be open to like the creatives, because we are creatives and we understand like stifling any of that is never good, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's got to come out.
Yeah.
And if you feel like that's like something in you to bring out, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Nah, I love collaborating. I love just like understanding what people's like, what their goal is, and then trying to figure out like, how can we achieve that goal? Like, how can I, like, when we're always working with clients, like, I always want to go more than just a back and forth conversation. Like, how can I, you know, if you're a cook, like, how can we have a live podcast while you're cooking?
Yeah.
I mean, how can I, you know, park a camera by the stove, or like, you know, just get different angles of you. So like, when thinking of working with you guys, is like, how can we place cameras and kind of storytell and like, you know,
bring them in even more.
You get me?
Yeah.
Just because like the same way that you guys are seeing the monitor up there, like
Right.
that's something we can provide to the audience, where it's just like, not only are you there seeing it with your eyes, but like you can take a
They're
look at the
watching the
monitor
production.
and see the
Right,
production
right.
come to light.
That's super cool.
So yeah, no, I would love to work with you guys on
Absolutely.
something like that.
Absolutely.
Let's take a little step into like, tell me a little bit more about like platform collection.
Yeah.
How does it relate to Invisible Panchos? Are they one and the same, or are they separate? Like, yeah.
So platform collection has been like this ever evolving thing over the years. It was started by myself, Hip Hop Eddie, who's our manager. Shout out to Eddie. And we, like, when I initially wanted, I initially wanted to make like a blog. I think that's where I was going with it. I wanted to do a blog, but I wanted to like highlight people in our scene that weren't being seen. From there, it kind of grew into a podcast team, right? Basically, we had a bunch of podcasts throughout the years. And then just recently, with the team that we have now, we realized what platform collection is more. And really it's a creative team. It's because now we've been called in, finally, after all these years, we've finally been called in to like work with other companies and just bring what we do to them.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to like really see that, you know, because you know, as a creative, like we all would love for that to happen, but making that happen is so nuanced.
Yeah.
You know, like making your skills, one, available to people, presenting them in a way that people can gain value out of them, but then also being just different enough that it isn't something that they can get anywhere, right? So like all those things, we've been trying to solve that problem this entire time when it comes from like the business side, and now we have. And so platform collection is acting as an incubator for all these different companies. Like it's an incubator for the Invisible Panchos. It's the incubator for Beat Block, Jean's brand, Parker Edison Project, that's Parker's brand, The Heartful Truth, which is Melly and Gabby. And then we all collectively work on other projects. Like we're producing a short film right now. We're doing a documentary. We also shoot the majority of our own videos with our partners, Manny from Soloka. He's one of our partners. And it is all of us literally coming up with a goal to further one of the entities, however we decide we want to do that. And then all of us doing that with our own man hours and our own labor and our own money. Sometimes like we do it all ourselves, and what we create together is the point, not like the thing that we set out at the beginning is to like complete the goal, but what it looks like at the end, we never know, but it is the point. We want to see a new thing that we can create. And that's all platform collection does now. We're just looking for projects, artists to work with, things we think we can contribute to. Simultaneously, we're now partners at the Happiness of Pursuit Festival. We just became partners this year. It's a huge festival. It is the largest independent hip hop festival in California. It happens in Ontario, California, October 7th. Every October we throw it. This is the 6th year. This year we have Joel Santana headlining. It's packed. Gene and I are getting to host this year. So that's new to us too. Like that's a ground up that's a business that was built from the ground up by 60 East, the founder of that, and he's partnered us in recently with our other partners, Curtis King and Brick to Your Face, who is Noah James and Lisa J from the Inland Empire. So those 4 entities now are running a festival, and we've never done that before. So we're learning it all. All the entities, we're learning that. We're on our like I said, our 6th year, and the fact that we've been able to pull off this festival for 6 years is still amazing to us. We are all still in awe of that because we're still learning it. But that's what Platform Collection has its hands in those 2 places right now, and it is our guiding light, really. Like without Platform Collection, without the team, for sure there's no Invisible Panchos, for sure. Because when we're on stage, there's literally like 10 other people doing other things.
Yeah.
Merch, pictures, videos, lights.
Yeah.
You know, so that they're everything to us, and there is no. So people, I can clarify it for everybody right here, right now. There is no. It's not a label. Nobody's signed to Platform Collection. We're all actually friends, and we just decided to give it a name of something that we're all working on together. Beyond that. We actually complete real business, you know? Yeah.
That's dope. When it comes to the festival, do you guys have anything planned for it? Is there like, anything you can talk about?
Gene actually has a pretty good thing for that day, I think.
Yeah. There might be some new music dropping the day of the festival.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Something like we've never done before, ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and, yeah, we're going to have fun with the hosting in between the sets. We're definitely going to bring...
We're going to leak the
You guys
record.
co-hosting together?
It's going to definitely be...
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's definitely going to be a Ponchos party, as we like to say.
Yeah.
So bring your poncho, and we'll see you in Ontario, October 7th.
Yeah, in fact, dude, we can... I would love to do this. I would love to invite you out if you guys want to come out. You can come be our guests. But also, if you want to give away tickets to any of your supporters, anybody who supports your brand, we can give you guys like 4 tickets and then just decide however you want to give them away.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so if you're like a supporter or whatever, make sure you're subscribing to
make
a
sure
live
to
studio right now.
all the channels.
Because you won't get it if you're not subscribed.
Right.
We do have a little a promo for your YouTube channel, the Invisible Panchos, as well.
Sick.
But I will be adding everything in the description.
Cool.
And hell yeah.
Yeah, and come up with some way for them to get them. But yeah, I would love to invite you guys out. And if you've never been to the Happiness of Pursuit Festival, trust me, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced. It is literally this one day of like independent DIY art all day with an amazing soundtrack of literally like the who's who of underground and independent hip hop. And like occasionally we'll get these huge names that come in. And there's always a surprise every year. So
What gets me is that Benny the Butcher's first California
show was there.
festival was at that
festival, yeah.
Pursuit
And he
Festival.
cried on stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, there's moments like huge. The Far Side last year was amazing. We brought Lighter Shade of Brown out.
Blue in Exile performing the whole...
all these artists who would like never be on a bill together. The only thing tying them together is that they're all DIYers and they're all independent. Mm-hmm. So just imagine a full day of that energy. If you're that type of artist, if you're that type of creative, like this should be your home.
Yeah.
You know, it should be Mecca for you every year, you know?
Oh, shit. No, thank you. I mean, you guys just literally popped my cherry with the first giveaway on my show.
That's awesome.
No, that's awesome. I gotta figure out a creative way to push this and figure out how I can do this. It's October 7th. Okay. I can't make any promises. I got a pregnant girlfriend over there.
Yep.
We're due October 22nd. So
okay.
Right around the corner.
pray that nothing, happens before then. But yeah, I definitely think if I can make it.
At the very least, some of your supporters are about to get hooked.
No, that's so dope. Before we get into watching some music videos, I wanted to ask Priscilla over there, are there any comments, any people watching live? I don't know. I mean, it's our first live episode, so.
Nice.
Yeah, we got a few comments.
Hey, anything you want to surface? Any love? Any questions?
Got one here. Let me see. We got Claudia. Excited.
So excited. What up, Claudia?
Yeah, shout out to Claudia. Juan Rafael Lopez. Shout out to Juan Rafael Lopez.
We got Melly Moreno.
Melly,
saying,
what
"Let's
up? What up?"
go." Got OG Hip Hop Eddie. What up, everyone?
Yes.
We got Parker Edison.
In the building.
Very fly.
Dope stuff. I hope it all sounds good to you guys. I have my dog on the other door, on the other side of this door.
I know.
Slowly,
we feel very bad about it.
She's like, let me be a part of the party too, guys. All right, let's get into some music videos here. I think the first one I'm gonna play is actually the first one I ever saw, and I think it was when I saw it on your interview with Claudia. And it seemed to be like you guys in like a school setting, I believe.
Yeah.
It was a cult meeting.
What was it?
It's actually a cult meeting.
Low key,
Yes.
the nicest cult ever.
Because if you referred to the pamphlet that you received when you
Yeah.
first got introduced to the Panchos,
Yeah.
and I believe it said Invisible Panchos, it's a cult.
Okay.
So what you're about to see is our initiation cult meeting.
Oh, great.
We're introducing you to the Invisible Panchos.
We're gonna have all these rumors now.
Let them.
Yeah, we shot it one day.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, we shot it in one day, just a couple hours. We rented out like a classroom. What I had pictured in my mind was that look of like an AA and a support meeting. And I was thinking like a support for like
I think you achieved that.
our type of artists, you know what I mean? Like, and so then it kind of just went the way everything usually does with us. It starts to get really funny and we start laughing, and then it became what it was. And shout out to Parker Edison again, who steals the show, you know?
Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh shit. Let's throw that on, baby.
Oh, and this is Introduction. That's the name of the song.
Dope.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Give him a round of applause. All right, calm down. It's not American Idols. Go ahead and have a seat, sir.
It's not for me, dog. It's not for me.
We got some speakers here for you today. They're going to be talking about, I don't know, just give me your attention. Give me your attention. They're talking about something. Plus, we have donuts. If you stay the whole time, Rogers.
My favorite part.
Put your hands together for the Invisible Panchos? Invisible Panchos. Invisible Panchos, yeah.
My man, you ducked up Goosem as you walked by him.
You can go ahead and bring your cameras out because you're gonna want to record all of this. Something's happening right here in the middle of Sand City. You hear that? Something's happening. Introducing.
Focused on the higher state of mind, man, we are not the same. This is not my plane of existence, nah. None of my team needs assistance. We burn through pistons, they whistling. My hot shit, my thought shit, my engines, they glistening. I'ma wet your mind, call it christening.
And everyone in the video is like
you put your fist in, bro. It's really
somebody
cold,
doing
man,
like
in the
some,
end,
you know what I mean? Like they all kind of came together to help us out. Like the dude with the glasses, he's in a band. Well, do you remember the name of the band? I want to make sure. I'll look it up. But he's a lead singer in a band. That's obviously 7 Octobers. Dago got heat. Is that
Dago got heat.
Yeah.
DJ Who.
And I'm always on some block shit.
DJ Who's there. Melly.
I am not crazy. I am he who elevates. Mind in the future and my heart in the crates. And I don't
Those
believe
two
in
that were
time,
just on
I
screen,
can't
they
walk
run
the
a
path, homie,
poetry
I'll walk
slam.
Poets Underground.
Poets Underground.
They run Poets Underground downtown.
and I'm fine.
Something's happening.
And I'm fine. They call 'em
But yeah, everybody there is an artist.
I never paid your
Musical artists or just artists?
Just
The artists in their own
Yeah.
right.
Dope stuff.
Yeah, like that's DJ Who actually the back the back DJ Who. But yeah, they all just showed, man, like that was just one of those days where I was like I had to like really like just accept the love. Like they just showed up and they showed out for us. Like it's not easy like doing like we had to do these takes like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
We didn't really have a script. We were just kind of had a loose idea. And they went all out. I mean, especially some of them we met that day. So to see them like by the end of the video, like they're jumping around and like Gene has them doing jumping jacks and stuff, but they were really cool.
No, it's funny that you guys call it a cult because, like, I don't know. I feel like when most people think of community, like, they think of like culture and religions. But like, for me, when I've always thought about community, it's like it's exactly what you guys have here. You get me? It's just like loving each other unconditionally, and just choosing to work on a project with someone because you want to, because you see the vision in it.
Yeah,
and it's just like
and the whole thing, like, to be like completely transparent, was like what we heard it first, like in like a derogatory way. People were like, "Oh, you guys are like a cult," but as time has gone by, like, we just kind of embraced it. Like, if that's what you think it is, then whatever it is. But like Gene said, like, it's just people like just helping each other. Like, really, at the end of the day, it's service. And like, we believe we're in the service industry. Like, we don't believe we're like in the entertainment industry. So that is, I think that's really sums up how we approach it. If you look at music from a service point and not just an entertainment thing, then you see what we lead with. Like, we're there to do like a job,
Yeah.
So I think that's always kept us like being able to work with each other very freely. Yeah.
And the transparency of the music that we write, people can relate to that, and I think they appreciate that about us the most. That's
what we hear the most.
Yeah.
That what we're saying is something that they can relate to, which is always weird because it's just how we feel. Like, we don't write with that intention, but knowing like music now and the way we've created, obviously, me and Gene have had tons of conversations on this now, but we do definitely feel like we're just like, it's not like we make it. Like, the inspiration comes to you from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then our job is just to try to get it from inside our head out. And if we're able to do that in the clearest way, then I think people resonate with that. At least that's what the experiences we get after shows, when people tell us what they like. It's always something around that. Yeah.
No, I agree. It's definitely there. Like, when I was at your live performance for community over competition, you guys made me feel things like
that's dope,
and
man.
Just seeing you guys, switch up the set, and I forget his name, but the guy who's like standing reading
Parker Edison.
Yep.
Like, he definitely did a great job of just like I think like you can silence like the crowd and just like
he's so good at that.
Start and just like bring you into this story, and then the beat starts playing, and then you start rapping. And it's just like, okay, this is it.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody went to Soloka's Wonder Museum event, man, he was in rare form that night. Like, that night, we didn't talk at all about what we were going to do, and this was the biggest place we've played with the most, complex set, and what he pulled off was, he's a genius. He's a genius. Like if you talk to him, you like really get to know him, you realize like, oh, okay, he's one of those dudes. He's touched. It just kind of flows out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it seems like your whole community is surrounded.
Yeah,
by
they
people
really
that
are. We're
just, like,
super
truly
lucky.
talented.
Super lucky, dude. Like, super lucky.
And I think a lot of the emotion that you see live is due to the amount of practice that we put in, and we treat it like, here I go again with more athletic.
Do you guys
references.
practice with all the same bells and whistles, or
We just go in on the music and the set. As far as the bells and whistles, we're visualizing it.
Yeah.
And
I think we feel like if we can perform the music good, it doesn't matter what gets thrown at us.
Yeah, and we practice so much to the point where when you train to the point where you throw up, like, we practice to the point where we emotionally throw up. You know what I mean? And so
We've cried in practice.
to being able to like transfer that to live shows, it's easy to say it's effortless, but the effort's in the practice. You know what I mean? So what you see, you're seeing the peak.
Yeah.
And the practice is all that build up, all that emotion, all the good times, the disagreements, just do this. Sometimes, it's not all peaches and cream. You know what I mean? To a good relationship has peaks and valleys, but it always is going towards the point. You know what I mean? Like he said, there's a point. And so you see that, you feel, I think that's what translates.
yeah, no, that's dope.
Yes.
Let's get the rest of this.
Through waters. I do not dance for your quarters. Nah, we could not fail if you paid us. Homie, this is ground excellence. I am A+. Plus, it don't make a dent. I spent so much time in your mind, I'll pay you rent. Yeah, you gon' regret what you spent. I saved half the scene without spending a cent. And they sent every Tom, Dick, Brick, and Rock, man. Wow, how you gonna stone me in the flock, man? How? Watch me cross them up, crucifixion. Talk about a Jesus complex, check my diction, yes. Pancho, watch the clock tick. Never feed the rumors or the hate or the toxic, yeah. And he always rep the right thing. Never even mention his name, he is not Gene. He is he who elevates. Mind in the future and his heart in the crates. And he don't believe in time, he can't walk your path, homie. He walks the line and he's fine. And he's fine.
Gene, do you ever rap at all?
They call him Flow, they call him Flow. They call him Flow, it's on a high state of mind, man. This is not a race. Don't fake my truths. I know my place. We're here to inspire and spike the desire to hire my ego, but that's no amigo. We ponchos and we go where most don't believe that your mind can't conceive. Don't be blind to the sea. You planted your feet, stand firm on these streets. This community and we tight, man. Be transparent with your life, fam.
Okay. That was dope.
Thank you, man.
Action.
How's my time? How's the board look?
Good, good.
I'm a big fan.
This is
of
how
these
we were
beats,
filming
guys.
this.
Yes, it looks amazing.
There, or is the school over
All right, do you guys
He's a
ever
pro.
play music
He's a
live
pro.
while you guys record the music videos, or what's the deal there?
When we do our rap parts, but normally no, huh?
No, we haven't had a live. We have cut clips for, you know, social media to do when we play
Yeah.
live, but nothing in the music video. We're always on location, kind of
No.
acting. We're getting our acting chops in our music videos. Yeah.
You guys got IMDb pages now? You guys got to get. You guys got to put them up.
Hopefully, we're actually working on a really dope short film. Hopefully, maybe by the beginning of next year, written by 7 Octobers.
Does it happen
that we're
to
going to
be?
star in it?
I saw you guys. I saw, I think, a clip or like BTS of you guys like playing with projectors.
No, that's another thing that's coming very soon. You're again the first hearing about it. We have a video dropping for a song called "Who We Be,"
Who we be?
and it's directed by what is the company name?
Visual Cachet.
Yeah, Visual Cachet and Manny Bizniewski of Soloka. And it's so we've always taken pride in filming everything ourselves, right? So that means most of the time that we're filming with whatever we have. So we've filmed with Gene's phone. We've done music videos. In fact, the first Soloka collab with us video wise is a song called "The Rain," and that was all shot on Gene's phone, and so we've always taken pride in that.
Yeah.
But then one day it occurred to me that people might think that that's the only way we know how to do videos. So we decided to make a bigger video, just to prove the point. And that video is coming out pretty soon, hopefully before Thought Fest, maybe. But in the meantime, we're shooting another video for a brand new song called "Breathe Through," which I'm super excited to finally get out. It's kind of been on the shelf for a while. It's like our first like new music. And it's kind of like going in another direction for us. Like every time we drop brand new music, it's almost like another
Pivot.
Yeah, another pivot. So
What do you mean by pivot? Like from a sound perspective?
Sonically, what
Yeah.
people expect, because you know, you always do something so much, you know, you stick to, and people expect the next thing, and then we're really good at sensing even before ourselves, before we even hear the outside noise on ourselves, saying, let's extend.
we might be done here.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We
over
don't
there.
like to stay in one place too long.
Yeah.
You know, we're always moving, always evolving, always trying something new. Let's experiment. Let's do this.
Have you guys ever worked with like singers, like people who,
Yeah, there's some stuff that we have planned as well. There's an artist by the name of Stephanie Soul that we've been trying to work with for a while. We've already agreed to work with each other. We just haven't found the right song. For us, it has to be like we have yet to ever like force a collaboration. And we've had opportunities to make some dope collaborations with some pretty dope artists. But if it didn't coincide with what we're doing, then we just won't deviate from it. Because I just don't think that's not that important when you're looking at the overall art we're trying to create. Like we're working on something. So if somebody else is able to come into it in a creative way, right? Like that's dope. But if it's not there and it's not obvious, we won't force it. But there are definitely people on our list. We have bucket list people that we definitely want to work with.
I'll start shouting those names out, manifesting these dreams.
Yeah, man. I know one that this isn't even a person, but me and Gene definitely want to make a few songs coming up where we don't produce it at all. Like we've kind of tried to manifest that because we've produced everything we've done.
Yeah.
So we'd like to see what that would be like if we just created like the vibe, but have a producer like actually do the soundscape and us not touch that part at all. We want that to happen. That can be a lot of people. Do you have any producers offhand?
D Ski, the Ill Eagle, he's definitely up there.
What about I know you probably have a list of rappers.
I want to here in San Diego. I definitely want to work with Gemini.
Gemini's
been on a tear lately. He's actually going to be performing at the Happiness of Pursuit Festival as well, doing a beat set.
Yeah, I feel like the homie Beats is probably well overdue.
Yeah, absolutely,
because he's just a young cat in San Diego who we've seen grind. And anytime we get a chance to like put him on a stage, we try to do that because he's just such a genuinely good dude, but amazingly talented.
We actually are I'm not, spilling the beans or anything, but we have something in the works with our boy Eugene O'Neill up in the Inland Empire.
Yep.
Okay.
Producer, artist in his own right, super dope. He also performing at the Happiness of Pursuit Festival. Won the Happiness of Pursuit Festival competition.
Yeah.
Wait, it's a competition?
No, so we tour before, and every tour stop we give that city an opportunity to send somebody to the festival, and they literally get a 15-minute set at the early part of the festival, but they're on that main stage, and it's a huge thing. So you get to really see like these cities come out for each other, which was the dopest part of the Thought Fest tour when we were on it, was seeing these cities support their own, because that's what we want. We want to encourage. We want Thought Fest to be a bridge to all these communities so that we can all, like you said, rise together. But yeah, Eugene O'Neill is an amazing artist.
Absolutely.
We're sitting on some Noah James stuff.
Noah James,
right?
yes.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, Noah is an amazing artist. If you don't know about Noah James, go check out Noah James. And while you're at it, check out 60 East and check out Curtis King as well. They're all part of our team at the Happiness of Pursuit Festival, and amazingly genius level artists as well. Yeah.
Run by artists.
Yeah, run by artists, 100%.
I think at the show with So Loca, you guys put me on to I don't know if you guys chose him, but Rick Scales.
Yeah, man. So Rick Scales,
nice.
to me, Rick Scales is the best rapper in San Diego.
And let's just continue the winner of last year's Happiness of Pursuit Festival Freestyle Challenge. So it's all in the family. Where it's this is you're seeing the community.
You're really seeing the community. In fact, we brought Rick and DJ Root out for So Loca because I just thought that was just an amazing place for them to perform, and I knew they were going to rock it. Like I knew they were going to rock it, and we also had them open up for the first tour stop with us. But Rick is an accomplished artist. He's part of a crew called 18 Scales.
Okay.
And they're about to drop a brand new record, Fade Nasty 3, right? But I have never introduced Rick's music to somebody and heard somebody say they don't like it. So trust me, 18 Scales on Spotify. As soon as this is over, play it.
Yeah.
Amazing music.
Shout out to Slappin' Hands.
Yeah, shout out to Slappin' Hands. Yeah, Rick is also, again, I think this is all you'll find this. If you don't, say you live in San Diego or even Southern California and you don't know that there's like this really active underground hip hop scene that is really out of the box, that has a lot of different types of sounds. It's not one thing. It doesn't look like or sound like one thing. You're really missing out. Like, seek it out. There's some amazingly talented artists who are doing huge things in the city and beyond that people might just be unaware of. I've heard people, I mean, it used to happen to us here in the city. People would be like, "Oh, you guys are from LA, right?" Or like, because they'd see us out that way.
Yeah.
But we were working, we were out there working, but I feel like San Diego is having a renaissance as right now there's a renaissance going on.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Like, and low key, that's kind of like I'm originally from New York City, from the Bronx, but I moved out here to like find that change of pace, and like there have been two places specifically that I've seen in San Diego where the community is strong: Barrio Logan,
Yeah.
and Ocean Beach.
Yeah.
Those communities are like, they pour into each other's cups.
Yeah, and if you think about
Nonstop,
it, there's
continuously.
two of the communities that are consistently being attacked by gentrification, and two of the communities that consistently put up a fight.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think it's just long histories of like not bending to like the will of outside influences, and then that seeps into the music. It's why, you know, me and Gene spend so much. I'm born and raised in Barrio Logan. It's why Gene and I are so connected to that community, because that is a community that allowed us to grow.
Yeah.
Like they embraced us almost immediately, and Barrio Logan has been like a driving force behind what we've done and the success that we've had. And so I feel like it's those kind of communities that like really resonate with creatives like yourself, you know, like, and I always understand when people say that.
So you can feel it. You can see it in the air. You can see how, like, on weekends, just all these small businesses just like all around each other, all like chasing their dreams. And it's just like, where else do you go where like you can like see someone pursuing their, and it's like, it's not even like people just slapping their logo on shirts. It's like someone surrounding them. So like Claudia's, for example, like just going full deep into fucking upcycle clothes, and just like it blows my mind.
And everyone's got each other's back. You walk the block and everyone's looking out for each other. You know what I mean? And everyone spots like it coming. If it's something's coming, it's like, you know, put it out there and everyone looks out.
Yeah.
And it's like it's definitely like my message to especially Barrio Logan, because that's where I'm from, is just to like continue to support each other and understand like that communities evolve, and because communities evolve, you don't have to lose the community. Like things will get redefined, and we might be facing like hard times and things like gentrification constantly, but they can't take our community no matter what happens. Right. Buildings won't do that. You know, them knocking buildings down won't do that. The community is the thing that you're talking about, and you feel that, and you feel that from your living room right here. So they can't take that. So I definitely want to see the communities, especially the communities in San Diego, being affected by gentrification to speak up more. You know, like there are people that feel like you, and we're hoping like through our music that, you know, people understand that that's part of our message as well. It's like ultimately we think we're just like you know?
Right. And together they, as a community, no pun intended, also block the rain.
Yep.
Hence, and I think that it's very fitting that we shot that video on the block.
Yeah.
And not to put my words lightly, everyone knows how to shift out the bullshit. So if you're coming into the community with some bullshit, it's not going to last.
Right. Yeah.
It's not going to get through. Everyone can see right through
You
it.
have to be transparent.
Yeah. The authenticity is real in the community.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to, actually, I'm wearing a shirt from an artist in Barrio Logan. Shout out to Aigato.
Hey, shout out to Aigato.
But yeah, man, I feel like that we're so blessed to be attached to that community in the way that we are, and they really come out to support us. We always share like DMs. We get DMs from people we've met like at shows in Barrio Logan who still like just DM me stuff about their life. Like, yo, this happened. I was playing your song when I did this, or, you know, I'm working out this morning and I'm listening to your music. When I see that it's like actually resonating like that, that keeps me going. Cause this shit can get hard, man. Like it gets very hard. It can get taxing. Like we said, we were just on tour. You're away from home. You miss home. Yeah. Like there's no way around. We went out with a bunch of artists and they're all experienced. Everybody missed home.
Yeah.
You miss home. You're away from that energy, and maybe you're away from people who need your energy. You feel that. And so like you have this little bit of light when you're on tour. It's that night when you're performing and the lights turn on and you get to share that moment with the audience. those relationships become real relationships. Like they become like real. Like I've met like people who are like my real friends, and they started off as someone who just went to see one of my shows.
Yeah.
And so and if that doesn't continue with us, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like to me, I want us to always make art that results in those kind of relationships.
Yeah. No, that's dope. I definitely want to like introduce you guys to a creative that I work with. Zeke, he is a music video editor. Honestly, I think he's a magician behind the camera. Yeah, I mean, like he'll be doing like one man camera shows where like he'll just like it's just me and like some lights, but like
Just
the
looks
quality
fresh.
that comes out is
Some people just
like
have that.
shit.
You know?
Like,
I'm always amazed by people who are like that. That have
Yeah.
that part of their brain that they just see something different. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he also, I'm sure you guys probably know him. You guys know an artist named Dago Fats?
Yeah.
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 I'm a big fan of his
Amazing.
and just his,
Amazingly
like, his flow.
talented. The way, I feel like he can move like any crowd.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him perform live yet. I heard he can bring it.
He's the real deal from what I've seen. I think I've met him a couple times, but I don't know him personally. But he's just the real deal. You know, when you see him perform, you can tell.
And I like his treatments that he's doing with his content.
Yeah, very well.
Bro,
done.
like he just like it'll be him like cooking eggs or ramen over
Yeah.
the pot, and it's just like
Right.
He's a storyteller. You
Yeah,
can tell
getting-
like it's innate to him.
Getting ready to, he's tying his line for his hook because he's talking about to go fishing, and like that transparency that let me let you into my life.
Yeah.
Wearing his chanclas and his shorts and just hanging out. You know what I
love
mean?
it.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm a big fan of that, man. I was thinking about that today. Like, there's a lot of people I remember years ago, like when Instagram was just starting to pop off. And I had gotten some advice like, yo, go this way. The way it was explained to me was like, this is just another palette of paint. And what you do with it is up to you. Like, so if you're like, I don't like the way so-and-so is using Instagram, you don't have to use it like that. You use it any way you want. And that always resonated with me. So I became a big fan of people who could tell stories through that. Because especially like in our community, and I mean like hip hop in general, there's always two sides to that argument, right? There's people who are like, oh, people are making easily digestible music, or it's fast or whatever. Yeah, they are. But you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You can make a 30-second video that makes you cry. And that takes a talent. That takes a lot of thought. There is a lot of artistic value to those things.
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of times people get confused with, I just heard, you know who Windy Day is? Do you know who Windy Day is? So Windy Day is basically an advocate for artists in hip hop since like the early 80s. She's touched all the biggest artists. People don't know that she used to be the way you got music into. Do you guys remember what the Warehouse was?
Yeah.
So the Warehouse was this record store, like it was the Warehouse and Tower Records. And so for any artist, independent artist, for you to get your record into one of those places, especially the Warehouse, you had to go through Windy Day. This was back when you used to have to like give people hand-to-hand music, right?
Yeah.
But she was talking, so she's from the old school. She understands how the business works from top to bottom. But I was hearing her today talk about that artists get mad at the idea of their art being called content, as if it is not. But it is, because once we paint our picture, the way people take that in and what they do with it, you're not even in charge of that.
Yeah.
Unless you take it down, and then you shouldn't be doing it in public. Because then it's not for other people. That's the only way you keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
The moment you go, I want someone to hear, smell, taste, watch this, you're giving up your right to decide what people decide to do with that.
Yeah.
But to me, that is the artist's struggle. That is the beautiful struggle. If you stay with that and you seek everything that way of living has to give you, it is so rewarding. Because the first thing you realize is that it doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how dope you are. It doesn't revolve around you. Our job is to give somebody a soundtrack for their life. They're going to place that in the scene, in the movie, in their own movie.
Yeah.
Whatever scene they decide, that's how they're going to use it. And so, like, for me, I think that the less we define what we do, and the way we make art, I know, like, Gene, for sure, we talk about this all the time. Like, don't let the outside voices mess with your creativeness. That's the skill, by the way.
Yeah.
That is the skill. That is how you decide how good someone is. Are they able to shut out everything so that they can show the clearest picture of what's in their head? That is the skill. And I think sometimes people get lost in the idea when they're making something. They're having that argument in their head too much. Is this content? Is this art? Is it? How about it just is? You know, you're just making something, and then let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. I always say that. We always have this talk like, there's no competition in art because either you can do it or you can't. Mm-hmm. That's just it. And how you do it is based on a million life experiences.
Yeah.
How can you compete that?
And once you release it, it's not yours.
It's not yours.
You can't determine, I'm going to have this go to this group of people. These people are going to love it. And
I don't want them to listen to it, and I want them to listen to it.
Right. And speaking for myself, throughout the process, I've learned that you might determine something for somebody, and this whole people are like, I love it. And you were like, oh, I made an assumption that you wouldn't like this.
Yeah.
I learned something, you know, and then with that, you realize like, I can't attach myself to the result.
Yeah.
I can just put all I can do, all I have, what I'm feeling, the harnessing of that. Again, we're taking something from a source, and we're a vessel filtering out through.
Yeah.
Right. Doing our best to translate it in our point of view.
Yeah.
Right. And once it's out, once you press submit into a distro kit or whatever, hand it to somebody, their interpretation is their movie of the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fuck you guys. That was I'm gonna be chopping those clits. Jesus, that was beautiful.
Dude, I used to get advice from somebody. Actually, you know who it was? It was Bonnie Blue. Yeah. Do you remember Bonnie Blue when we used to talk? I'm talking to Eddie, by the way. He's off screen. But so an artist by the name of Bonnie Blue, I remember her. She would always have this response when people would ask her what she thought of their music. And I didn't understand it a lot at the beginning. Like, she would almost get a little upset. Like, but I get it now. Because what you're really asking is, do you see it the way I see it? Anytime you're asking that, right?
Yeah.
The reality is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I feel about your thing. How do you feel about your thing? Because if you're super happy with it, then should anything I say change that? You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm like the most experienced artist in the world, should it change it? No.
Yeah.
Because I could ruin your happy. Because I don't know how you got to your happy. I'm just giving you some advice based off of things I know.
Right.
You know, how do I even know we're the same? So I get that now. And so I ask one person every single time I'm done with a show, how was it? And it's Eddie.
Yeah.
That's it. Me and Gene don't ask each other. We know. Like, we know we're in it.
Yeah.
I only ask Eddie. That's the voice I trust because I've seen him watch us perform so many times. He knows the ins and outs. And so he knows if something was off. Other than that, I don't. Shout out to Noah James for saying this all the time. Claps and boos are the same thing if you're being true to the art. It's just, you should look at them the same way.
As noise.
Yeah, it's just something that's just a response from somebody. That's it.
I heard Deion Sanders. Do we know Deion? He's a head coach now.
That
player,
recently, right?
Football player.
Okay,
He's
I
now
know
a
what you're
coach.
saying,
He's
yeah.
now a coach.
Yeah.
And after this big win that they had, he told the kid, you know, he's like, oh, you know, coaches always tell the kids, don't read the noise, don't read the clips, don't read the headlines. He goes, I tell my kids, go ahead, you balled out, you're gonna, you know, read, you're gonna get the good and the bad. But 90% of it isn't true either way.
Yeah.
Whether the good,
Even the compliments.
right?
Yeah.
Don't let the fluff get to you, and don't let the down get to you, because you know what you did. Go ahead and do it, but understand like that filter of this is opinion, this is interpretation, this is point of view, and if you're true to yourself, if you like what you're doing, none of that should affect the movement, you know.
I honestly, I low key, I've been taking this journey of like podcasting, like not only to practice what I preach in terms of like what I sell to clients, but like it's been a form of therapy, and like that's very much, you know, kind of the headspace that I'm evolving into, and like, you know, it's a journey, but just like getting out of my head and understanding that I enjoy this, I love this.
You get to do this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So I thank you guys for everything you just said, because
Oh man,
it hit home.
thank
you,
you,
man.
thank you for having us.
Super grateful for this opportunity to speak with you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's like I feel like we for sure, we love sitting with other creatives. Like it's almost become like a hobby of ours. We're always seeking any new city we go into. We reach out to the artists of that community before we get there, and we're just like, anybody want to hang out?
Anybody want to talk?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
seek out conversation.
Yeah, because I feel like it's very easy in what we do, because of all the things we just said, for you to be completely self-consumed by your emotions. But again, the skill is allowing yourself to have those emotions and it not killing you. Just like you allow yourselves to hear the voices, but it doesn't harm you. That's a skill, and that's something that needs to be repped. It isn't something you can just sit and like pray on or hope on. That's not how it works. It's good to speak the things into existence, but immediately after this, he said this, immediately after that, you have to start the work.
Yeah.
Immediately. That's the only way it really works. And us having gone through all the steps, we did not skip one step.
Yeah.
We've hit every branch on the tree. So we know what it feels like when we're not doing what we should be doing. That's become something that's become an innate trait of ours, but it's off of what Gene said earlier. It's just that constantly practicing, and not just the music, but the mindset. Every day, at least me and Gene, or me and Eddie, or me and Parker, or all of us together are in a chat, encouraging each other, or checking each other if we have to.
Yeah.
Going like, dude, you know what? You could be doing better. And we all know it. And we all know it because you told us what you want to be. You know what I mean? And so we're constantly doing that mindset. And I get why people might go like, oh man, you guys are in a cult. Because we think about it all the time. It is what we're into. We want to be better.
It's gotten to a point where it's almost affected me physically and my mood. That's when I know I've been not doing the things that I know I need to be doing for a while. And when I'm doing the things that I know I need to be doing, my mood is great. I am treating myself better. And while I'm doing that, I'm also treating everyone around me better. You know what I mean? And it reciprocates, right? Yeah. But we had this the other day, and I said, I know that I'm not doing what I need to be doing because I feel this way. Yeah. I know it. And okay, establish, go to work.
Yeah.
There's no like A to B. Like there's the in between needs to get shorter and shorter, right? Yeah. But it comes with practice, and discipline comes with practice, and you got to put in work. Nothing's going to happen overnight. Yeah. But as long as you go back to that mean and chip away, you're just a few strokes away from that, reaching that diamond.
Yeah, man. And it's a trip to me, dude, because Gene and I didn't set out to do this part, right? And this part, us sitting with people, us talking with people, it is not, we both struggled, I think, at the beginning when we've had that response a lot from people that have said like, man, what you just said, I needed that, but what I want people to understand is it's not like we're saying it because we need it. Yeah. Like we need to hear it. We need to live like that. We need to do those things. And if other people get something out of it, that is super dope. And if you don't, that's fine as well. But I do care about the people that resonate with it. And those people, I can't help but feel close to those people because I feel understood. Yeah. And I think that's at the end of the day, most artists, that's all we're really looking for. I think most people, we just are blessed to be able to do this thing where we can stand up on a stage in front of people and test whether or not we're being understood.
And I said this the other day, you know, I've had friends I've shared with you recently. We have similar conversations and they're like, wow, I've seen you do this grand thing or speaking this grand thing. We're speaking something that's universal. We're not saying like this is gospel.
Yeah.
This is the way. You can flip around through the internets and hear a lot of people talking about, you know, putting in the work into yourself, having the better mood, sleep, exercise, eat well, you know, things that we preach about, community, togetherness. These are universal languages. So it's not that, yes, we appreciate that we get to interact on the one-on-one. We get to touch this right in front of us. But understand, again, when you resonate to it, beautiful. If not, it doesn't something that we're doing it for us. This is something we're going through. You just are coming for the ride. If it fits, if the seatbelt doesn't fit, it's not the ride.
Yeah, first song we made, we didn't know if it was going to resonate with anybody. The reality is we were just like, yo, we really like this. And we would joke about like, what if nobody likes it? You know, like,
Yeah.
but that's a cool place to be in, because I feel like for us, it always keeps us constantly creating, constantly like looking for the next feeling or awaiting the next inspiration. And now I think me and Gene are starting to like push ourselves to a point now we want to go dive into where the inspiration is at. I want to go out and seek it out. So going on the road for us was that, like, well, let's see if we can find it. Maybe we're only good here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you really do have those feelings, bro. Like we're booked on a tour. We had the 10 dates set. We're on a flyer, and I'm still on the way to the show going, man, what if they don't even want to hear any of the things? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's still I think I don't ever not want to have that, you know, like I'm good with always wondering whether or not what I'm doing is the thing I should be doing. I think that's a good mindset to have. And I feel like when you're not doing that with yourself, you have to really question what it is that you are doing to help yourself. If you're not doing that, if you're not constantly asking yourself, am I better today? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Probably the polar opposite of that, you know, and you might just not know it, you know?
Yeah.
We had a good test. I'm going to tell the story. We had a stop in the Bay, and it was a good lesson, or not test, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, where the location was we realized we were the soundscape for the night, not necessarily performing at concerts, if you catch my drift. We were playing for people who were having their social time.
Oh, okay.
Where I had a moment where I switched to just don't stop because you don't think that people are listening to you play.
Yeah. Because that was us trying to control it. Right. Yeah.
Perform the show like you perform it because this is what you do and you practice this way. So don't change because the energy hasn't been the same thing. It's like a spoiled child, right? Yeah. You get everything. Oh, it's been such a great thing. And then you have this one thing that doesn't go the way you expected or thought, even in your head. And even in real time, you're having a feeling about it, but then you just keep doing what you're doing. And it turned out by the midway point to the end, it was
beautiful.
Yeah, it was all good.
It was like a brand new experience.
Everybody turned out of their circles and winded up surrounding the stage.
No.
No.
Everybody waited till we finished and then came over and went, man, that was dope. And the whole time I was like, I thought you guys hated it. Like, you wouldn't even look. There was a dude with his back to me who then showed me after, I was taking video like this, man. I just didn't. And I think that's just how they get down in Hookland. Like, nobody's like really like, take this love. Like, they're like, do you deserve this love? and we just did our thing. And then after, it was an amazing night. Like, Boots Riley showed up from an amazing legendary hip hop artist, had heard about it.
Shout out to my guy Philip Drummond and
Drummond.
Lax the Monk, who had opening beat sets for us. That was super dope, a really cool experience. And then we flipped it into a DJ set.
Yeah. Then we just decided, like, all right, well then let's rock the party. Like, let's have a party then. And again, once I started to go, it's about the experience, and it's not about me just being dope. Well, now there's 100 different ways for us to capture the experience. You know, like we could do a bunch of different things. If it's only about bringing you closer and us having an exchange of energy, that leaves there's endless opportunities for us. And that to me is exciting. And we would not have found that out had we not gone to Oakland and had that night.
Our ability to pivot.
Yep.
And we always do, like he mentioned earlier, how we can read a room and when's a good time to play a song, when's a good time to skip a song, maybe shorten the set, extend the set, what have you. And our ability to just look at each other and call an audible and just smile. We got, like, at this point, we look at each other and it's like, okay, cool. You want to play it? We'll play. Let's play.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I think we've done that every show we've ever done.
Hence goes to the saying, every live show is not going to be like the last live show or the next live show. So come check us out when you have a chance.
Yeah. So talking about live show, when is the next one? Is it the Preservatives Festival, or like let's start to sign up?
Let me see. What do we got coming up? We have a bunch of stuff coming up. We're really in the studio right now. Like, we're really trying to crank out things. Like I said, Gene has a project of sorts, right? We don't even know what to really call it yet. But it is a project. It's getting worked on, and
it's a sound sculpting soundtrack.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Sound sculpting soundtrack, and that'll be dropping in on ThoughtFest, our 6th anniversary of ThoughtFest. We'll be hosting that October 7th.
Okay,
that'll be dropping. But between here and then, I'm saying we're probably dropping 2 videos. Where maybe one
for sure,
but maybe
the
2.
projection. I'm super excited to see the output of that projection one.
Just a little bit that I've
magic
seen what they've done with it is going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's another one of those things, like we were talking about Body Logan, right? And gentrification. And so when you finally watch this video, understand that it didn't start like the way it looks. It evolved into that because we all started to talk about these topics more, and we're like, yo, we have this opportunity to really make a statement. And what I saw it evolve into, and one of the little snippets I've been able to see, because we've had total hands off on it. We really wanted Manny and Visual Cache to really just do what they do. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, what are we working with them for? If we don't see their vision like they see ours, then we shouldn't work together. And we see their vision. Everything that they pitched to us, we were like, yo, yes, we want to we'll
put it on the calendar. Let's go.
We'll do it. So we're super excited. And it's for a song called Who We Be, which will be uploaded at the end of this week, by the way. So the song is going to be coming out soon. So the video will be coming out as well. But then we have a live show October. Eddie, do you know what the date is for the Che Cafe? So we just got we got asked to do this event. Was it last year when we did the with Rob? Mm-hmm. What was the name of that? Do you remember what the name of that show was? But it's thrown by the homie Rob Camacho. Okay. He's an amazing
Step Off Magazine
founder.
Mm-hmm.
He's a San Diego native, Barrio Logan native. He built a hip hop magazine. He's a political journalist and analyst. But he's throwing this event on October. I believe it's the 28th. Eddie, do you know? It's going to be in October 28th. And it's going to be, we're planning on doing something there we've never done.
Yeah.
So people can look forward to that. They are willing to work with us as well. Like the people throwing the show to allow us to do something huge. They want us to do something. So anytime we get a challenge like that, like I guarantee you we're going to come up with something crazy for that day. And that'll probably be the next time we perform live. I'm saying that right now, but Gene has a birthday coming up, so you never know what might crack off. But that'll probably be the next time we perform. And then we are currently in the talks with Soloka about doing I don't think I haven't really seen it done yet, but we want to do like an old school tour, music tour, except that, so picture like the poster, right? Mm-hmm. It'll have like the Invisible Panchos, Soloka, another like musical artist, I Gato, and tour that to galleries as an experience. So the 4 entities, whoever we're still waiting on the last music artist. We don't know what music artists we're going to tour with, but I'd like to tour with I Gato and Soloka, and we want to tour galleries and make each gallery stop a one night only event. And we're going to try to do 4 to 5 stops up and down the coast. So that'll be for the winter. And then I think that's the majority of the performing we're going to be doing. Yeah, because we're going to be releasing a bunch of music.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. What is the best way for local artists to reach out and work with you besides like your at handles or your Invisible Panchos? We're going to have that come on the screen. But yeah, what's the best way for people to come and work with you guys?
Always reach out to our management, OG Hip Hop Eddie on Instagram. Or you can reach out directly at Platform Collection on Instagram. Anything you're pitching, I mean, I can tell you what we're looking for. We just launched our first clothing brands and merch brands that we're really proud of. We really have made some products that we think that people can just wear, whether you're an Invisible Panchos fan or not. Maybe you just believe in the movement. Yeah. We've made a bunch of gear for you. And we're looking to partner with more manufacturers. So even little ones, if you're like, yo, I want to start a t-shirt company and I just need some ideas or I need something to print, we might be your guys. You might be able to step right in and we could immediately take you at least to the next level with our network. So we're looking to partner with more people. Right now we're running it all. Yeah. Now we found the manufacturers, everything. So all the prices, the shipping, it's all stuff we had to like come up with on our own. So when you go to the store, it'll be constantly changing. We're constantly trying to bring the price point down because we want everybody to have the gear. So that's what we're really looking for. But if you're an artist and you just want to get into like, say, the world that we're into, the best thing I think you can do is go to thopfest.net, THOP.net, and get involved with the Happiness of Pursuit Festival. It is literally the one-stop shop for you to get embedded into the underground and independent hip-hop scene in California in general, in the Southwest, really. Yeah. I mean, really, there's people traveling overseas to come to it. So if you want to get involved, go there. Tell them the Poncho sent you. Literally, you can say that. Say you saw it on this show, said they sent you. And then otherwise, like just keep paying attention to what we're doing at invisiblepanchos.com. And you can always hit us.
The DMs are always open.
Yeah, they're always open. Kill C-Ray at Gene_flow. Yeah. If you want to get at us for whatever.
Dope shit.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Man. I really appreciated this conversation.
Yeah, me too, brother.
I look forward to finding out ways in which we can work together.
Oh, yeah. That's a must.
And yeah, like they said, everybody, if you are interested, go follow them. We'll be adding links in the description for everything they mentioned. Again, this show is sponsored by Alive Studio. If you're looking to have a show like this, what you just saw, you can learn more at bookalivestudio.com. And then also, we just launched, again, a free equipment guide, just going over everything that we use to make shows like this come to life. So yeah, the link will be down below me. You can either screenshot the QR code and open up the link and, download it. It comes with a companion video where I'm like going over everything and why I use this, different price points, different things. It is Mac only. I will just put that out, the software that I use. But that said, a lot of what we use here can be used with OBS or anything that you use. So yeah, thank you guys again for coming on the show.
Thank you, brother.
And to all of you out there, I will see you in the next episode.
Shout out to all y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.